And I did not want to sell this stuff. I was like, if you told me I was going to sell candles one day, I would laugh in your face. Like, I'm way too good for that. I am so not doing this stuff. But life just does things, you know? It just does things. Anyways, I just wanted to say I love these girls so much, and this is like my mama right over here. She's my adopted mama over here. And this is my dream right here, to have a team meeting with all these people. Oh my gosh. I have like 16 people who came, but you know, you start with steps, you know? So they're only giving me 15 minutes, so this might be a problem, but if you know me, I just love to talk and I just don't shut up. Like, it just doesn't happen. But so I don't really know what I want to talk to you guys about, but it'll just come through. But I just want to let you guys know that I never, wanted to do this. I never thought that I would ever achieve anything that I've ever really achieved. I was a girl who had 2 older brothers who pretty much bullied me my whole, childhood. My father was an alcoholic. My mother had mental health issues, so my parents were never around. I remember I was captain of my basketball team, and I was like, hey guys, I want you to come and watch one of my games. It's my championship basketball game. I'm the captain. If you guys do not come, it means you do not love me. And nobody showed up. So that was just what's going on as a childhood. But my parents were going through their own thing that I didn't really understand, you know. And today I understand, and we have a relationship today. But growing up in school, I was always the girl who talked all the time and got in trouble all the time. I was at the office all the time. And I was always told today they're not allowed to tell you you're being a bad kid. They're not allowed to say that. And to me, they told me that all the time. You're being a bad kid, you're being a bad kid, you're a bad kid, you're a bad kid. Parent-teacher meeting, I was like, oh no, I'm getting grounded. I swear I was grounded my whole life. So I was really good with hair because I just played with my doll's hair. But I was literally grounded my whole life. But so it was crazy. And I don't really know where this all comes, but I remember it was grade 7 and I was in this school. It was called Hanmer High. And it was literally Hanmer High. And I was skipping class in grade 7, you know, and I wasn't getting in trouble. I was like, Anick, is this good for your career? Is this good for your future? And it's like, no, this is not. So, well, what are you going to do about it? And I don't know why I'm having these internal conversations when I'm, you know, in grade 7. I don't know how old I am, like 12 or 13. So some of my friends were going to, that was a public school, some of my friends were going to a Catholic school, and Catholic schools, were really strict. And I, knew nothing about, all of that stuff. And I said, you know what, I'm going to change schools. So I told my parents I'm going to change schools, and they're like, whatever. You know, they probably didn't pay attention. My mom worked crazy hours. My dad worked crazy hours to provide, but I didn't really understand that when I was younger. So I walked to the school, and I knocked on the school, and I'm at the office, and actually I called and booked an appointment. That's what I did. I called and booked an appointment. So I walked from my school to the other school. It was like a 10-minute walk. And I get there, and the principal's like, I'm like, hi, I'm Anick. I'm here for my meeting. And he's like, okay, where's your parents? I'm like, I don't know. I told them I was changing schools, and they're not here, so whatever. Are you going to show me the school or what? And he's like, okay. So he shows me the school. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to change schools. And he says, okay. I'm like, okay, can you give me the paperwork? I'll get my mom to sign it. I'm going to change schools. He's like, this has never happened to me in my whole career. So the next day, I walk on over and I give my application. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to switch schools. To this day, I don't even think my mom knows that I went to that school. He thought I was probably going to be like this beautiful, amazing student. Was he ever wrong? So the first week, I'm already getting in trouble because I'm talking too much, because I just love to talk and I just want to know what everyone's doing on the weekend or what they did last night or whatever, or look at the nail polish I put on or whatever. And I would get sent to the office, and I remember the first time he saw me and he's like, no! I had really high hopes for you, Anick. And I'm like, you need a chair that says Anick on it because I'll be here often. And I say this because at a young age, I knew that I had to step up because my family wasn't, and the people around me weren't. And I just knew I had to step up. I have a really other funny story. So I've told the brothers, and my dad was an alcoholic. He used to go racing snow machines every single weekend. I'm from Canada. So they used to go racing snow machines every weekend, my brothers, okay? So my dad was he was crazy. His name's Crazy Bob. So when you meet Crazy Bob, you're like, that's where Anick comes from. I get it. And then you meet my mom, who's like this. And you're like, that's your mom? And she has the biggest heart ever, so I'm literally like a mixture of my mom and dad. So I remember every weekend I was never allowed to go on weekends with my dad. And I would always wonder why, but I didn't understand, like, how do you tell a little girl that, well, my mother was abused in the family, an uncle, you know the gist, you get where I'm saying. So she's not gonna let her little girl, who's 6 years old, go on a weekend snow machining with her alcoholic father with probably a bunch of alcoholic men, right? But how do you tell that to a little girl? So I didn't really understand. I just knew that I wasn't allowed to go because I was a girl. So it was like engraved in me, I was not allowed to go because I was a girl. So you can't tell me what to do, okay? I've always had this issue. It's like, if I want something, I'm gonna go and get it. So I remember every weekend I would be so jealous, like, how come they get to go with dad and I don't get to go? And I'm hanging out with my mom, and she's okay, but she's staying at home cleaning, and my dad's racing snow machines and having, like, so much fun. So one day we're at my uncle's house, and he has a barbershop downstairs, and I grabbed a pair of scissors for me, and I grabbed a pair of scissors for my brother, and we cut my hair, and we snipped it all. And I walk upstairs, and I have no more hair. I'm 6 years old, and I go up in the kitchen, I said, Mom, I'm a boy now. Can I hang out with my dad? Like, it's like, I knew right from the get-go, don't treat me differently, and if I want something, I'm gonna go and get it, because I'm gonna tell the world, and I'm gonna scream louder and louder and louder, and if I have to cut my hair to prove a point, I'm going to do it. And so, like, just because of how the world works, my dad ended up saying that he saw the devil when he was drunk, and then he found God, and then got sober. So when I was 7 years old, I was allowed to go for my first time with the weekend and go snow machining, but he bought a canteen bar, like a trailer, to sell pop and popcorn and rum and coke and stuff. And who do you think was working the canteen bar? This guy right here, 7 years old. So my entrepreneur spirit started when I was 7 years old. But, you know, I never liked being just ordinary. I never liked just people telling me what to do, because my brothers were doing it, and then they're doing it, and then when I met these girls and I found out what they're doing, I'm like, well, if you guys are doing this, I'm gonna do this. What's the difference between them and us? Nothing. They probably heard more no's than us. They probably worked way harder than us, and that's the difference. So, you know, who's been here for longer than 5 years? Okay, cool, a lot, okay. So, I just want to tell you guys that it doesn't matter when you join Sensi, it's what you do with when you join Sensi. Because people are becoming a director right now. So even though you've been around for 5 years, why can't you be a director? And you're not a director, why can't you become a director? What's the difference between that girl and you? And I find sometimes when we're in it for so long, we kind of lose that little spunk, we lose that little passion, we forget why we're doing this, because we're doing it for so long. Who's doing this full time? Full time. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you guys this because I feel like a lot of people need to hear this. I've been doing this for full time. I feel like we forgot how it feels like to have a full-time job. We forgot how it feels like to ask your boss for time off. Mm-hmm. You forgot how to ask, like my child is sick and I need to call my boss and be like, I need to go pick her up. We forgot how that feels. That's annoying, uncomfortable, and I shouldn't have to ask for time off. I should be able to do whatever I want because that's the world I live in. So I just want you guys to remember that working for the man sucks. You know? You working for yourself, you guys are entrepreneurs, you can make anything happen, but you need to go out and get it. And how are you gonna go out and get it? Not when you're like, I can't do this. And it's like, I knew I was doing this speech, and like literally Amanda Gore was like, I'm like, man, she's saying like everything I like want to say at this meeting, so I don't know how this is gonna go, but I want you guys to know that people with no arms and no legs are doing better than us. You know, they're writing books, they're surfing the ocean, they're speaking around the world, they have super amazing, successful businesses. They have limitations. Compared to that, we don't really have that many limitations. We do, but it's in our mind. And our mind is so powerful. And do you know how many thoughts we have per day on average? 60,000. And do you know on average how many are negative? 90%. 90%. 90% of the time, you're telling yourself you're not good enough. You'll never be a director. You'll never be a star director. You're never going to find rock stars. You're stupid. You're ugly. You're never going to be, a Becca. You're never going to be this. You're never going to be that. So the people who are going to the top, they know how important this mindset is. They know that that's just lies in their head. That's just literally society has brainwashed constantly saying that you're not good enough. Every commercial you see, it's telling you need this lipstick because you're not good enough. You need this lipstick, you need this shirt, you need this, you need that. You are good enough. You are good enough. You have every single skill that anyone actually has, but they're just doing it, and some of you are not. People who want to be successful and start shifting their mind end up doing successful acts. They end up hanging out with successful people. They end up YouTubing what this person is doing, and then they just do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I pretend I know what I'm doing. I have no clue. An old boss I had, he was cuckoo, but he was really, really intelligent. And all intelligent people are kind of cuckoo, right? So he said, Anick, a business is like riding a whale. You pretend you know where it's going. That's kind of like life. Life is crazy. Life is so hard. Sometimes it's so hard to just get out of bed. Sometimes it's hard to wash your face. Sometimes it's hard to just go to work. It's so hard. No one said it was going to be easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. And because you're here, it's because you're strong enough to handle this shit. Amen, sister. You are way stronger than you think. You are way more powerful than you think. Because you are here, it tells me that you want more in life. You want more? Do you want more?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you want more in life?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna get more if you compare yourself to other people. Because you're comparing yourself to someone who maybe has a bigger goal than you. So they're doing different things. They're doing more. It's not apples and apples here. So stop looking at what people are doing. When I started this business, I knew nobody. And I was just this crazy girl on Instagram saying this world is such a beautiful place, yay! And just making people laugh because this world is hard. And I suffered with some severe depression. I was suicidal. I tried to take my life many times. And I thought God made a mistake with me. I was like, I need to be in a mental institution. And if they investigate my brain, they're going to lock me up. I swear, for the longest time, I was like, man, I'm effed up. There's something wrong with me. But it's because I always looked over there, and society in my world would be like, Anick, we're going this way. And I'm like, what's going on over here? And no, Anick, but what's going on over here? And they're like, nope, Anick, I just knew there was more to life. I don't like to work a 9-to-5 job. It's not like you work super hard, you're getting paid the same amount of money. You work less, you get the same amount of money. If you want to make money, you got to be an entrepreneur. It's the sales people that are making the money. Who loves money? We like money, right? That's not why we stay. Yeah, guys. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you were getting paid apples, would you still be a fancy consultant? I like money. Money's good because money gives us good things. I could do great things with money. My dream is to open up a healing center in the bush for teenagers that are runaway teenagers. I can't do that if I don't have any money. So I talk to people sometimes and I say to them, if you think about money, what's your first thought? What's that first feeling? A lot of you guys, it's frustration. There's lack of, So you're coming from a feeling of lack. A lot of time if I say to you, when you think of your business, what's that feeling inside? And a lot of you might say frustrated, I'm not where I want to be, I'm kind of disappointed. It's coming from a place of lack. So our thoughts are super powerful and they are a magnetic for what you want. And the universe, God, whatever you want to believe in, leprechauns, rabbits, whatever, will give you what you ask for. So if you're feeling the way you feel, that is real. Your thoughts aren't real, but the way you feel is legit, okay? It's kind of like When you hang out with someone positive, you feel really good and positive. When you hang out with a Debbie Downer, you're like, oh my God. You gotta kick them to the curb, man. You can't hang out with those people. They will bring you down. So energy is so powerful, okay? And you attract what you are. So if you're in a situation that you're not happy with, you attracted it. And I might make you mad by saying that, but it's the truth, okay? You attracted that because you are coming from a place of lack. 90% of your thoughts are negative. Therefore, 90% of your actions are negative. Like the food you eat is, everything, the energy, your thoughts, the words you see around you, the people you hang out with, your daily actions. What are you writing in your journal? Are you going into the drama and then dealing with the drama and talking to everyone with the drama? Oh my God, did you hear what you said? Did you see that having a divorce? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, all that shit doesn't matter. What matters is that we are beautiful people meant for beautiful things. Yeah.
Yes.
You need to change your feeling into abundance. We are literally like 30% of the world, like 70% of the world, I believe, don't have a toilet to sit on. Imagine not sitting on a toilet. How uncomfortable is that? Yeah, be grateful every time you're sitting on that toilet. I'm telling you, you have a fridge, you have some clothes on your back, you are richer than you think. You are actually a millionaire compared to a lot of people. 70% of the world, if they had your life, they would lift up their feet and be like, I've done it. I've done it. They would be way more grateful. Way more grateful. We are not grateful. We are not thankful for our life. We're not grateful for the things that we have. We are selfish. And if you start realizing that you are a millionaire, that you are successful because you're here, you did it, you're an active consultant. Did you see that there's 700,000 people? Like the number was 700,000? How many consultants do we have? 200,000? Do you know how many people quit? You guys aren't quitters. You aren't quitters. That means you are successful. You need to start realizing that you are successful and that you're loaded and the money is coming in. You have to. And as soon as I shifted my thoughts that, you know what? Anick, actually the universe wants you here. And it wants you this crazy, bubbly, whatever you are. Like, I don't know why I am the way I am, but I love an audience. I just love an audience. And I just realized I like making people laugh because so many people feel so lonely. And I realized when I started sharing my story about feeling so lonely, how many people I inspired. And I just thought that, okay, this is why I'm here. That's why I have the story that I have, because 98% of people feel lonely. So many of us feel like probably 90% have some type of anxiety, some type of depression, because we're listening to the thoughts in our head. As soon as you shift your thoughts, because you attract what you are, if you start loving who you are, okay, who has children? Who has pets? Okay, do you love your kids?
Yes.
Do you love your pet?
Yes.
So why can't you love yourself? Why can you love your child and do anything for your kid, but you cannot love yourself like that? Think about it. That's so stupid. Why can you love something so much, but you can't give yourself the same love? Where you are the core of your family, and you lacking the love in your heart, when you find the love in your heart, it's already there, okay? It's already there. But when you just accept it, that you know what? I do love myself, the messy, we're abstract art. Sometimes people don't understand it, but it's beautiful. So when you start realizing that, and you start loving yourself, you will start attracting the most beautiful things into your life, and that's business. Business, customers are gonna wanna be around you. People are gonna be like, man, what is she on? I want some. It's called love. Okay? Love is like Wi-Fi. You don't really see it, but it's there. And love, when we don't have Wi-Fi, how do we feel? We're angry. We're angry. So, guys, I I need you guys to realize that you're good enough for yourself, okay? And your mom loved you, you know? And like, you know, you believe that a baby's a miracle, right? We're grown-up miracles. We're grown-up miracles. Okay? I'm totally over. But I love you guys. You guys are amazing. And just know that as soon as you start shifting and realize that you are worth, because you're here, something magical wants you here. So, like, kick those thoughts to the curb and realize, okay, I'm here for a reason because Anick told me, okay, so I'm going to just do whatever I want to do. And you know what? All our issues that we have, all this lack, all this, our limitations that's going on in our mind, it's actually a blessing. Because there's so many people on social media, your friends, your family, Facebook, that needs to hear your story. They need to see that you're terrified of the world, you're terrified to talk to people about this business, but you're doing it anyway. You're doing it anyway. And that's inspiring because people are watching you. Even if they don't like your comments, even if they don't comment, even if they don't respond back, they are watching you. So just be that change you want to see. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just started like, hey, Anick, when you die, Anick, what do you want people to say about you at your funeral? Live like that. Live like that. You want people to say, I never noticed her? She was normal. Normal's boring. You know, you want them to say that she was unique, she was loving, she worked hard, she was inspiring. She shared her heart. She shared her story. You think about the qualities you want and just be that. Stop limiting yourself and thinking like, I can't do that. That's bullshit. Because you can be that. Because you're amazing. Woo! So there's a quote that I told myself about 20 times a day for about a year. And it's I am more than the eye can see. The world's strength and power rest inside of me. And if you start telling yourself these affirmations, and we've talked about affirmations forever, and start telling yourself literally, like if you start telling yourself, I am beautiful, I am smart, you won't believe it right now, but you will eventually believe it, and you will start attracting people who believe it. You will start attracting people who are it. And your world will shift. And yes, you're going to probably lose friends. There's going to be a transition, but that's because it's the old world and the new world is coming. And the new things are coming, okay? And like those recruits that you've recruited and do nothing, just leave them, okay? You're on to bigger, better things. Unless Becca tells you to not leave them there and give them love, then you listen to that one. You listen to that. Becca and Kelly know what they're doing. But literally, I know I talk about this a lot, but this will shift your business. This will bring you success. But if you could do all the work, but if you don't believe, it's never going to happen. So for the people who just joined, you have the whole world at your fingertips. The people who have been here forever, same you too. You know, it's all timing. Everything's timing. Sometimes things happen in our life. You're active. You're here. You're successful. Thank you guys for having me.